The multi-billion-dollar question, why are property taxes so high? Ahead on Face the State. New laws just kicked in that state lawmakers say will save property owners billions of dollars over the next few years. Franklin County Auditor Michael Stinziano joins me to explain the high taxes and who will feel some relief. Also, we'll celebrate America's 250th birthday in just over 3 months. Ohio has already been celebrating the state's contributions to America since 1776. How you can join the party. And making Central Ohio a science hub. A big project here in our region is looking to expand Ohio's foothold in space aviation. We'll look at exactly how it could make that happen with the help of some standout students. Thanks for joining us for Face the State. I'm Doug Petcash. Recent property tax bills may have given some of you sticker shock. Rising property taxes have been a huge topic of discussion in households across the state and at the State House. Lawmakers passed a series of bills to provide billions in property tax relief. Those just took effect. A grassroots group is also collecting signatures now for a constitutional amendment to eliminate all property taxes in the state. Today, we'll get insight from Franklin County Auditor Michael Stinziano on the state of property taxes in the state and if you'll be seeing any relief soon. Now, the auditor's office assesses property values that determine your property taxes. The auditor is also the county's chief fiscal officer, the bookkeeper, if you will. In Franklin County, Stinziano oversees a $2.4 billion county budget. His office oversees the county's weights and measures as well, making sure you get what you pay for at stores and gas stations. In its annual report, the office says it inspected more than 5,000 gas pumps, cash registers, and scanners for accuracy and skimming devices in Franklin County. Auditors' offices also handle dog licenses. Joining me now to talk about property taxes, consumer protection, and more is Franklin County Auditor Michael Stinziano. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we talked about the billion-dollar question here. So why are property taxes so high?
Depends who you ask, but it really goes a little bit to the formula, but also history of action or inaction by the General Assembly. So way back when the General Assembly made some changes to county budgets, local government budgets that really pushed off local governments going to the ballot. And so when it takes the auditor's valuation, 35% of which with your taxing district, it's that taxing district component that has really driven the correlation of increased values and where people are seeing increases in property taxes.
How so? What do you mean?
A lot of people are very supportive of their local schools, local county taxing agencies, and so as long as the issues keep passing on the ballot, that makes up about 90% of that property tax bill. Just the valuation alone is kind of the first inside millage, so the first 10%. So again, while values go up, does not mean necessarily your taxes are going to go up. It's going to be that ballot box issue, what you do at the ballot box, your taxing district, that's really going to drive that. So I always tell people your value can go up, your taxes go down. Your value could go down, your taxes go up. People need to know the value of their vote and understand what they may be asked to vote on at the ballot box.
So just seeing an assessment go up does not mean taxes are rising?
It does not, and it's not magic, but in Franklin County, people don't always believe me when I tell them that. So we have a calculator that allows people to kind of correlate, this is what's going on in my taxing district, here's the valuation, increase, decrease, what could that effect be, if any changes at all, to my property taxes. Another good example that I often share, in 2023 in Franklin County, we had historic value increases. But for 2 school district levies passing, 50% of all taxes would have been flat or actually decreased. But because those 2 issues passed, that 50% number went down to about 7%. So that's how much what happens at the ballot box impacts taxes. Why are people going to the ballot box? School districts, agencies, they'll tell you because of cuts state funding.
That's right. Lawmakers did pass a series of bills, 5 bills that they say could cut $2 to $3 billion create $2 to $3 billion in property tax relief for homeowners, property owners over the next 3 years. Will all property owners see some of that relief?
So similar to your tax bill, everyone's experience of relief is going to be different. In Franklin County, unfortunately, there is not going to be a lot of relief. For about 92%, there'll be a little relief, but it's a cup of coffee, maybe a pizza a month in terms of relief, not the big number. Now in other counties that had a 20 mil floor dynamic, so a part of the calculation, they're going to see the biggest relief. It's not going to be the same. So depending where you live, if you're Union County but a certain school district, that relief's going to be different than if you're just Franklin County and a Franklin County school district.
We have a map that your office provided that kind of shows the breakdown for House Bill 186 and the impact it would have on taxpayers. If we could show that map, and then you could explain, you just see, basically the southeast corner here is where some people are going to see the biggest relief.
Right. So those school districts in that map are actually located primarily in another county. They overlap, so we have overlapping counties across Franklin County, and so that relief is the most immediate. That area is going to see the relief in the second half tax bill, but it is not going to be widespread. We are already getting calls from folks of where's the relief? I hear billions of dollars in savings. When will we see that? Now in years 2 and 3, there's other changes that are going to occur. So owner occupied tax credit is going to be increased. At the same time, it's going to eliminate the non-owner occupied credit. So if you're a small mom and pop landlord, you're going to lose some of those credits. So there's concern that could be passed off. So a lot of levers got pulled, a lot of changes are happening, but we want to make sure, at least in Franklin County, expectations are level set that it is not going to be a windfall, which I think is driving some of the conversation of a constitutional amendment.
The winter real estate bills came out not too long ago. Will people under this see relief in the summer, or is it still being a little bit farther down the line?
So the second half tax bill, the benefit will be those that you showed in the map. So a very small percentage, over 90% of Franklin County residents will not see relief in that second half tax bill. Nobody saw relief in the first half tax bill because when the General Assembly passed the bill, signed by the governor, didn't go into effect. So across the entire state. So, the conversation of constitutional amendment, what do property taxes pay for, will continue, and Franklin County Auditor's Office looks forward to continuing to share what we do and what we don't do.
Yeah, I believe it all just went into effect on March 18th, so that makes sense that it wouldn't be for the past one. Now, your office is also in the middle of the tri-annual assessment right now. So I guess just how do you assess a property?
So Ohio law requires all 88 counties every 3 years to do property valuation updates. Either a mass reappraisal, that's the big one. Franklin County did that in 2023, and then we have a 3-year incremental update. When we're doing the big mass one, it's kind of a drive-by. We don't go inside anybody's home, but we're looking at characteristics, features, and recent sales. What's going on within that delineated neighborhood? Exactly. The 3-year update is, again, kind of micro-targeting those comps, seeing where there's been changes or trends, and then updating valuations from that. What we always ask property owners, if you feel the auditor's valuation is around what you would sell it for, you really don't need to do anything, but if you feel it's too high or too low, we'll have options later this summer into early fall to work with those property owners to make sure we get it right.
You took the next question right out of my mouth right there. So turning to other aspects, though, you have a big consumer protection aspect of what your office does in terms of the weights and measures. How important do you view that part of your job in terms of making sure people are getting what they paid for at the store or the gas pump?
So that has always been an important role for the county auditor's office, but particularly with inflation, budgets being tighter, we've seen it increase. We get a lot of concerns from folks that, yes, I'm paying what I want, or I went to the market, what was advertised was not what was scanned. You all are the ones that can make sure it's protected, and we send our team out there. We work with those business owners. So it is immensely important, and one that as budgets are getting tighter at kitchen tables continues to increase in terms of importance.
Do you find a lot of issues?
We do. Not overwhelming given the amount of scanners and gas tanks, but they do come up, and we work closely with those business owners to make sure we get it right. We have found more often than not, so 99% of the time, those business owners recognize there was a mistake here. Let's correct it as soon as possible. We'll take the device
Nothing
offline.
Nefarious.
Nothing nefarious. There was one incident working with the Ohio Attorney General office and a national corporation. He had ultimately sued. That was probably the most egregious, and it wasn't just in Franklin County. It was across the entire state. But that's the big nefarious example that was a concern.
We see like gas stations, gas companies taking steps to protect people from the skimmers and things. Are those still an issue?
Skimmers are an issue. We in Franklin County do a skimmer check during major holidays. It rotates. The technology with the new chip has improved that. So it's not inserting the card. That's where the skimmers occurred. So we always encourage people, if you've got the capability, use the chip, tap it, and you should be protected. The scam has not caught up to that technology yet.
Yet.
They're always pretty good
at it,
yes.
aren't they? Yeah. Also, you recently, with the storm damage we had, you put out a reminder that people could actually get a property tax break if they suffered damaged, a tree falls on their house, a roof shingles get ripped off, they could actually get a bit of a tax break temporarily, right?
Correct. So the auditor's goal is always making sure we're assessing at a fair and equitable value of the property, recognizing if there's damage, flooding, roof damage, property had a tree hit fall on it, maybe part of the structure's damaged. That has an impact on what that fair value will be. And so property owners can work with the auditor's office in any county to update and say there's this damage, we're not getting that full value. Fill out the form. Little bureaucracy, but we're used to it, and we'll work closely with those property owners to make sure we're getting it updated. And then as they improve the structure again, then we will get the value back to where it should be.
Adjust it back up there, and the information is right there on the front page of your website as well.
It is top of mind for a lot of folks because the last couple of days of wind were pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then also we're just getting into severe weather season too,
Yes.
so we'll see what happens. Auditor Michael Stenziano, thank you so much for your time and input today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day. Well, still ahead on Face the State, let the party begin. Actually, in Ohio, the party started many months ago. Coming up next, how the Buckeye State is marking America's 250th birthday. Welcome back to Face the State. America is getting ready for a huge party. Americans will celebrate the country's 250th birthday on July 4th. It's the semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. But for months now, Ohio has already been celebrating the state's contributions to the U.S. since 1776. On Ohio Statehood Day on March 1st of 2022, Governor Mike DeWine announced the creation of the America 250 Ohio Commission. Since then, the 29 members and staff have been planning, developing, and rolling out ways Ohioans in all 88 counties can mark the occasion leading up to the big day. And you can do that right now by checking out hundreds of destinations through the Trails and Tales program. The Creativity Trail has more than 100 locations across the state celebrating the arts, including visual arts, music, literature, glass, and pottery. Also, the Air and Space Trail celebrates Ohio's achievements in flight. That includes the Wright brothers being first in flight and astronaut Neil Armstrong being the first to walk on the moon. I recently caught up with Todd Kleismith, the executive director of America 250 Ohio, to talk about the commission's big plans and what's already in place for you to enjoy and celebrate. A few months left to go. What's the focus for you and the commission right now?
Yeah, there's so many things happening all across the state, Doug, that, and there's, of course, national efforts that we'll plug into as well. So it's a great problem to have, juggling all the different events and activities that are happening statewide. It truly is an 88 county approach, and lots of exciting things. We'll be doing things with young people. We'll be doing things in cemeteries and everything in between. We have touch points to the American Revolution, but this is also a great opportunity to really showcase what Ohio and Ohioans have contributed to the United States these past 250 plus years. So we've got an events calendar online. There's lots of ways for people to plug into things happening nationally, statewide, and locally. It's really queuing up nicely for Ohio.
Why do this? Is this kind of about bringing people together?
Ultimately, that's been a super important emphasis for me since we launched the commission back in 2022. Is I feel like we're definitely going to have lots of events, activities, things happening statewide. But if we don't utilize this as an opportunity to bring people together, we will have lost a big opportunity. So I think that is really important, and that everyone, and especially our young people, feel like they're not just passive bystanders, that there's ways to really plug into this in ways that are meaningful to people. And that's going to be a wide range of ways for people to engage. So we really do think it's important to get people together.
A couple of the big ways that people can engage, explore Ohio, learn things about the state, and really celebrate those contributions is through the Trails and Tales program. And one of the big aspects of that is the Creativity Trail. What is that, and what can people see along that?
Sure. That's a great one to point to because there are so many places around Ohio that the creative expression can be experienced somewhere. So, of course, a lot of art murals and art museums, but lots of other ways too. We have well over 100 sites that are participating in the Creativity Trail, places in Central Ohio and all over Ohio. Um, and so the Trails and Tales effort, these are places that are already huge tourism assets here in the state of Ohio. This is just a great way to remind Ohioans and out of state travelers that we have so much to offer in the state. So, one quick example here is like there's the Ohio Craft Museum in Grandview Heights, is a great one to point to here in Central Ohio. So lots of creative ways that Ohioans have really contributed to the United States. And so that's the point of this. And it's not about getting in the car and driving from one place to the next, but ways that these places, these destinations, can offer up experiences that are somewhat unique to America 250, and that they can collaborate amongst each other, help promote each other. All kinds of opportunities here. The Thurber House also comes to mind here in Columbus. It's really a lot of fun.
And of course, Ohio has a huge history in space and flight, and there's the Air and Space Trail as well. We know about the Wright brothers, John Glenn, Neil Armstrong. It focuses on those, but a lot of other things too.
That's right. Yeah. So lots of great things to point to with Air and Space. I mean, if you are an Ohioan, you know that Ohio really brings it when it comes to air and space. And we've got, the United States Air Force Museum. We have NASA facilities here. Of course, the astronauts. There's so many different stories, so many different ways to really tout these places and what they're contributing. Ohio has a $57 billion tourism industry in Ohio. So we're really leaning into that. So the Trails and Tales is a really fun way to emphasize that. We've so far launched 4 of the 6 that we plan to do. And next month, we'll be launching our 5th one focused on transportation specifically.
That's really cool. Now, also another really interesting aspect of all of this is it's honoring Ohio's Revolutionary War veterans. Can you please explain what the Revolutionary War Veterans Graves Project is and how's it going?
Sure can. Yeah, it's going great. It really exceeded my expectations. When we were early on, it was pretty amazing to learn that we have more than 7,000 Revolutionary War veterans who are buried in the state of Ohio. Now, they wouldn't have started in Ohio, but they ended up in Ohio and really made some pretty significant contributions to Ohio. And so we call that the Revolutionary War Veterans Graves Project. We've got a great team working on it. And the idea is to really better tell the stories of those veterans who ended up here in Ohio. So far, we're collecting a database, and what we want to do is fill in some of the gaps that what we know about them. A lot of times it's about where specifically are these veterans buried. And so we also have, it's not just men, there's some women, we have some Native Americans, we have some African Americans. So it's a really great project to help tell people some things that they probably didn't know. Mm-hmm. And so far, of those 7,000 Revolutionary War veterans, you can look at a map on our website to see the ones that have so far been identified, where we have the specific locations, what we know about them. And so far, we have a little more than 3,200 that have been identified on the map. We still have more work to do, of course.
Yeah. Well, that's great progress, because I think the last time we talked back in July of 2025, it was just over 1,000 that had been identified. So now up over 3,200. Todd, finally, I guess, what is planned for the big day, July 4th, 2026, the 250th birthday?
Right. Yeah, there's going to be a lot happening, as you would, of course, expect. Conveniently, July 4th falls on a Saturday this year. So there's a lot of things that will be happening statewide. But July 3rd, of course, is the big Red, White, and Boom celebration. So we'll be collaborating with the good people that put on the Red, White, and Boom event on July 3rd. And then July 4th, we're going to have a very large family-friendly event in downtown Columbus. that includes the Ohio State House, the Ohio Theater, the Columbus Commons. So lots happening all throughout that day of July 4th.
A lot going on for sure. If you would like more information on events and programs surrounding America's 250th birthday celebration in Ohio, just go to the website at the bottom of your screen. It's america250ohio.org. Still ahead on Face the State. As we just talked about, Ohio has a rich history in flight and space, and it looks like it also has a rich future in flight and space. Next, the project that's really starting to take off at Ohio State. The Voyager Institute for Space Technology and Advancement, or VISTA, is taking shape at Ohio State. It will be the first ever science park in the U.S. 10 TV's Meredith Garfalo shows us how progress is already being made by students who will contribute to its success.
The story of every startup starts in a garage somewhere. But at Ohio State University, the Vista Science Park, well, that story is starting right here in Columbus, Ohio.
For this experiment, it allows me to do two-dimensional flow.
Cassidy Brozovic began as a freshman at Ohio State University with a focus on ecological engineering. But by her junior year, she shifted to a new focus that was out of this world.
I never would have thought this is what I was going to study.
Instead of learning about plants on Earth, Cassidy's attention is now on the stars.
And for some reason, it was this itch I couldn't get rid of. And I really thought the idea of growing plants in space was just this new call that I had. So I ended up really pursuing that and deciding to stick around for grad school.
Today, Cassidy is in her third year of grad school. She's conducting research that will continue to put Ohio on the map as a leader of innovation in the space industry.
What I love about Central Ohio is both the standard of living, the quality of life, and the opportunity that we have here to do something transformational. We are an ascendant part of what it means to be a contributor to the future of the United States.
My goal is to
The research Cassidy and her classmates are doing is connected to VISTA, the Voyager Institute for Space Technology and Advancement. The science park will be an epicenter for research and development, allowing companies to do business in Columbus and craft unique opportunities for students.
While we are in the first and early chapters of what will be a long and exciting story of research and innovation and education and entrepreneurship, we're already up and running here.
And while the goal is to attract business from across the country, VISTA is already seeing homegrown innovation.
We have 3 startup companies that have come from our students. So innovation and entrepreneurship, especially on the part of our students, is extremely important for us to build opportunity here in Ohio.
Bringing to Central Ohio more students looking for opportunity and contributing to the growth and development of a continuously booming economy.
Everything we do in research, especially when we apply the young minds and the excitement and energy of our students, will create social, economic, educational, and quality of life outcomes for people here in Columbus, Central Ohio, and the state of Ohio, but I also believe worldwide.
That was our Meredith Garfalo reporting. Vista already has more than a dozen tenants. Thank you for joining me this week for Face the State. I'm Doug Petcash. I'll see you back here next Sunday at 11:30. Have a great day.